Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as you can see here, that basically in this lecture, we are going to talk about the important days observed in the world. Okay, like this is the topic that we are going to discuss in this lecture. Okay, like we know the important days that observed in the world, these are the important topic from the competitive exams viewpoint. Why? Because these questions are also the part of static as well as the current. How? Like static, they could be asked anytime, but they become the part of current when some specific day has just passed. With the passage of that day, the question asked in the examination. Okay, even the themes that we you can say conclude on that these particular days, this makes it more important for the exam, right? So it is essential for us that we must learn them in a proper manner. We must understand them in a proper manner. Then only we could achieve a good marks in the examination. Got it? So basically in this lecture, we will try to grasp them as more as we can, and then we will try to understand them in a proper manner. All right. So we will see the important days of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November, and at last December. Okay. So that is going to be our course of action. And at last we will see the summary of all of these. Okay. So, but before starting this lecture, there is a small disclaimer that presented here. There is a small disclaimer that is presented here. The disclaimer is like the images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this tag and have any concerns or issues, then please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Okay. So let's begin with the first is the January. In January, the first that we have is the World Braille Day. It is celebrated every year on 4th January around the world to commemorate the birthday of Louis Braille. Okay. Then we have the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, which is celebrated every year on 9th January by the Republic of India to mark the contribution of the overseas Indian community towards the development of India. Like we know, there are many Indians who residing outside India in different countries. Okay, they work there, they make achievement in their life there, and whatever they gather from the foreign, they contributed it towards the growth of the India or the development of India. So to celebrate their contribution, to celebrate their participation, basically we celebrate the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Got it? Then World Hindi Day. World Hindi Day is actually celebrated on 10th January. Okay, to raise the concern over the people regarding the promotion of Hindi language. Then we have National Youth Day. National Youth Day is celebrated in India on 12th January on the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. Like we know, Swami Vivekananda was a notable personality of India. Okay. And his birthday, 12th January, is celebrated as a National Youth Day. Army Day. It is celebrated on 15th January every year in India in recognition of Field Marshal Kondera M. Kareppa's taking over as the first Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army. Like we know, the Indian Army was actually raised by the Britishers when they ruled the country. Okay. So does the Commander-in-Chief of the British Indian Army was always the British. After independence, we made first chief of Indian Army from India, who was Field Marshal Kondera M. Kariyappa. Okay. And his recognition as taking over the first Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army and first Indian Commander-in-Chief, we would like to say, is on 15th January, celebrated all over the India as an Army Day. National Girl Child Day. This celebrated on 24th January every year as a National Observance Day for the Girl Child. Like we know, few 5 days, not 5 days, actually, sorry, few decades later, we can say the sex ratio in India was in trouble. Okay, the girl child was not that much appreciated in all over India due to some, you can say, past traditions and all. But somehow, as the education spreads out, basically we also established the 24th January as a National Girl Child Day so that we could promote the awareness of people regarding the girl child. Okay. National Voters Day. This is celebrated every year on 2nd January to encourage more young voters to take part in the political process. Like for the democracy like India, the voting process is very much important. And to ensure the voting fairness, we must ensure that each and everyone who is eligible to vote must go for the voting. To encourage the more young voters who are the future of the country, we always celebrate 2nd January as a National Voters Day. And I would like to say kindly correct it. This is 25th January, not 2nd. Got it? Then Indian Republic Day. The Indian Republic Day is celebrated every year on 26th January. It is the day marks the sovereignty of the country, as on this day in 1950 the Constitution of India was adopted. After independence, we took almost 2 years and 11 months to drafted the Constitution of the country. Okay, and that Constitution got implemented on 26th January 1950, so that's why it is celebrated as the Indian Republic Day. Martyrs Day. It is an annual day observed by the nations on 30th January in order to salute the martyrdom of soldiers who lost their lives defending the sovereignty of the nation. Like we know, post-independence, we have faced so many battles with our neighbors like Pakistan and China. Even in internal conflicts, we have lost so many soldiers and policemen. So to commemorate their martyrdom for the nation, we give them respect on 30th January by celebrating the Martyrs Day. Got it? World Leprosy Day. It is actually annually observed around the world on the last Sunday of January. Now let's talk about the month of Feb. World Cancer Day. which is an international day marked on 4th February to raise awareness of cancer and to encourage its prevention, detection, and treatment. International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. It is the United Nations sponsored annual awareness day that takes place on 6th February as a part of the UN efforts to eradicate the female genital mutilation, and it was actually first introduced to be celebrated in year of 2003. Safer Internet Day. It is celebrated on second day of the second week of February as an annual global initiative that promotes the safe, responsible, and positive use of digital technology. Like we know with the introduction of internet, okay, the ease of doing the things become more prevalent. But every coin has positive and negative sides, pros and cons. Similar happen with the internet also. On one hand, the internet gives you so many facilities that you could utilize to make your work easy and raise your knowledge and awareness. On the another side, the internet also having some dark sides which could harm the privacy of the people, could be used for some malfait purposes. So that's why in order to promote the safe, responsible and positive use of digital technology and mitigate or prevent the dark uses, we celebrated the Safer Internet Day on second week of February, or we can say second day of the second week of February. The National Deworming Day. Observed on 10th February by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And its main objective is to deworm the children between the ages of 1 to 19 who are at school and other Anganwadi centers. National Productivity Day. This is observed every year on 12th February. Like we know, India is the country which having the highest population of youth in the world. So that's why it's become important for us to raise awareness amongst our youth for their productivity and all. So that's why we celebrate National Productivity Day every year on 12th February. World Radio Day. Observance Day held annually on 13th Feb. World Radio Day is about celebrating radio, why we love it and why we need it today more than ever. Okay. World Day of Social Justice, celebrated on 20th February. Like we know, there are so many people who got marginalized in this modernized phase. So to ensure their justice and ensure their participation, we celebrated this day on 20th Feb. International Mother Language Day, IMLD, is a worldwide annual observance held on 21st Feb to promote the awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity and promote the multilingualism. It means that we must not go to the majority, but we also take care of the minority. All right. National Science Day. National Science Day is actually celebrated on 28th Feb each year to mark the discovery of the Raman effect by Indian physicist Sir Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman. Okay, also known as C.V. Raman. So he make the discovery on that day in the Indian physics, like called as Raman effect. And to celebrate this and to give commemoration to this, we celebrated the National Science Day on 28th February each. Now we have the March. First, the Zero Discrimination Day, which is celebrated on 1st March promotes the diversity and recognizes that everyone counts. It means that we must not discriminate anyone because he is diverse from the majority, and we must recognize everyone instead of diversifying them or discriminating them. World Wildlife Day, celebrated every year on 3rd March for promotion of wildlife among. National Defense Day, celebrated on 3rd March. National Security Day. Now remember, National Science Day is different from the National Security Day. It is celebrated on 4th March. International Women's Day, celebrated on 8th March every year. No Smoking Day, celebrated every year on the 2nd Wednesday in March. World Consumer Rights Day, celebrated every year on 15th March to protect the rights of the consumers and protect them against the exploitation. Ordnance Factory Days, celebrated all over India on 18th March every year. World Forestry Day or International Day of Forest. It is celebrated worldwide every year on 21st March to understand and spread the knowledge of protection of forest and their importance in our daily life. World Water Day, which is an annual observance day on 22nd March to highlight the importance of fresh water. It is also used to advocate for the sustainable management of freshwater resources. Like we know, there are almost 77% water surface on Earth, but out of this, only 3% is freshwater and drinkable. Okay, so we must use them in a sustainable manner that we could utilize them, but also our people could utilize them, or our coming generation could utilize them. World Meteorological Day, which is an annual day observed on 23rd March. World Tuberculosis Day, annually observance stands on 24th March. It's also known as TB. World Theatre Day, annual observance day on 22nd March. Now we have the April. World Autism Awareness Day, which is an internationally recognized day on 22nd April every year. International Day for Mine Awareness, internationally recognized day on 4th April every year. The World Health Day, Global Health Awareness Day is celebrated every year on 7th April. World Homeopathy Day, celebrated every year on 10th April. World, or we can say National Safe Motherhood Day, celebrated every year on 11th April. World Hemophilia Day, celebrated every year on 17th April. World Heritage Day, celebrated every year on 18th April. Secretaries Day, celebrated every year on 21st April. Earth Day, annual event celebrated on 22nd April. World's Book Day, also known as World Book and Copyright Day, is a yearly event on 23 April organized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Culture Organization, the UNESCO, to promote the reading, publishing and copyright. National Panchayati Raj Day is the National Day of India celebrated by the Ministry of Panchayati Raj on 24th April annually. The International Dance Day, celebrated every year on 29th April. International Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day, celebrated every year on 31st. Now we have the May. In May, the first that we celebrate is the World Press Freedom Day, celebrated every year on 3rd May. Then we have the World Laughter Day, take place on the first Sunday of the May of every year. World Asthma Day, annual event organized by the Global Initiative for Asthma to improve the asthma awareness and care around the world. World Asthma Day take place on the first Tuesday of May. Mother's Day, celebrated in honor of the mothers and celebrated every year on second Sunday of May. Coal Miners Day, celebrated every year on 4th May. International Firefighters Day, celebrated every year on 4th May. The World Athletics Day, celebrated every year on 7th May. World Red Cross Day, celebrated every year on 8th May as the birthday anniversary of founder of the Red Cross. International Thalassemia Day, celebrated every year on 8th May. Then again in May, National Technology Day, celebrated every year on 11th May. International Nurses Day, International Day celebrated around the world on 12th May of each year to mark the contribution nurses make to the society. International Day of Families, celebrated every year on 15th May. World Telecommunications Day, celebrated every year on 17th May. World Hypertension Day, celebrated every year on 17th May. World AIDS Vaccines Day, celebrated every year on 18th May. The International Day for Biological Diversity, celebrated every year on 22nd May. The Commonwealth Day, celebrated every year on 24th May. World No Tobacco Day, observed around the world every year on 31st May. Now we have the June. World Milk Day, every year on 1st June. International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression, celebrated on 4th June. World Environment Day, celebrated on 5th June. Father's Day, celebrated worldwide to recognize the contribution that fathers and father figures make to the lives of their children. Celebrated on the variety of days worldwide, many countries observe this day on the 3rd Sunday in June. World Oceans Day is a global celebration on 8th June. Anti-Child Labor Day, global celebration on 12th June. World Blood Donor Day, celebrated every year on 14th June. World Refugee Day, international observance observed on 20th June each year, dedicated to raising awareness of situation of refugees throughout the world. The International Day of Yoga, celebrated every year on 21st June. The International Day against the drug abuse and illicit trafficking, celebrated every year on 26th June. July, National Doctors Day on 1st of July, World Zoonosis Day on 6th July, World Population Day, which is an annual event observed on 11th July every year, seeks to raise awareness of global population issues. Nelson Mandela International Day. Annual International Day in honor of the Nelson Mandela, celebrated each year on 18 July, Mandela's birthday. Now we have August. First is International Friendship Day, observed every year on first Sunday. Hiroshima Day, observed on 6th August. Quit India Day, celebrated every year on 9th August. Nagasaki Day, celebrated every year on 9th August. India's Independence Day, celebrated on 15th August because on that day we got the independence from the British colonial rule in 1947. Senior Citizens Day, celebrated every year on 21st August. The International Day of World's Indigenous People, observance on 20th August each year to promote the rights of words. World Photography Day, celebrated every year on 1st August. National Sports Day, celebrated every year on 12th August. September, World Coconut Day on 2nd September. Teachers Day, 5th September. International Literacy Day, 8th September. Engineering community across India celebrates the Engineers Day on 15th September every year as a tribute to the greatest Indian engineer, Bharat Ratna Moksha Gundam Vishwaraya. World Ozone Day on 16th September. World Peace and Non-Violence Day is a holiday observed annually on 21st September. World Alzheimer Day on 21st September. World Deaf Day, celebrated every year in last Sunday of the month of September. World Tourism Day, international observance on 27th September. Again in September, World Heart Day on 29th September. World Rivers is a global celebration of rivers that occurs on the last Saturday of September. International Day of Older Persons, observed on 1st October. International Day of Non-Violence, observed on 2nd October. World Habitat Day, observed every year on 1st Monday of October throughout the world. World Animal Day is an international day of action for animal rights and welfare, celebrated annually on 4th October, the feast day of Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals. Indian Air Force Day, celebrated on 8th October. World Post Day, celebrated each year on 9th October. World Mental Health Day, celebrated every year on 10th October for global mental health education, awareness and advocacy against social stigma. World Sight Day, annual day of awareness held on the second Thursday of October to focus global attention on blindness and vision empowerment. Again in September. Okay, just correct it. It is not September, it is October. Okay, even here. International Day for Disaster Reduction, 13th October. World Standards Day on International Standards Day, internationally celebrated on 14th October. World Student Day is an Indian holiday marking the birth of APJ Abdul Kalam, observed on Kalam's birthday on 15th October. World's Food Day, celebrated every year around the world on 16th October in honor of the date of the founding of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 1945. United Nations Day is devoted to making known to people of the world the aims and achievements of the United Nations organization. The United Nations Day is part of United Nations Week, runs from 20 to 26 October in 1948. The United Nations General Assembly declared 24th October. World Thrift Day is celebrated every year on 31st October worldwide to promote savings and financial security of individual and nation as a whole. Now we have the November. World Tsunami Awareness celebrated on 5 November efforts to reduce the number of affected people when tsunami strikes. National Cancer Awareness Day observed across the country on 7th November. Legal Services Day celebrated every year on 9th November. Children's Day celebrated every year on 14th November. National Episcopal Day celebrated every year on 17th November. Africa Industrialization Day celebrated every year on 20th November. World Television Day celebrated every year on 21st November. The International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people is a UN organized observance on 29th November. Now we have the December. World AIDS Day on 1st December. National Pollution Control Day every year on 22nd December. Navy Day celebrated every year on 4th December. Armed Forces Flag Day 7th December. Human Rights Day celebrated annually across the world on 10th December every year. International Mountain Day celebrated annually across the world on 11th December. Minority Rights Day annually across the world on 18th December. National Mathematics Day annually across the world on 22nd December. Kisan Divas celebrated annually across the world on 23rd December. National Consumer Day celebrated annually across the world on 24th December. Christmas Day celebrated annually across the world on 25th December. So here we have finished the topic. Now it's a part for the summary. So we have observed the month in Feb, March, April, May, even in January, June, July, September. Okay, June, July, August and September. Then November and December. Okay. So students, here we have finished the topic. It is advisable to all of you. Kindly revise the facts and figures that we have discussed in this lecture. Keep yourself ready for the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and